I do have some questions for you, but I didn't know if you just wanted to step right in and just kind of open up. I do have the footage too, the two video clips that went viral.
Viral.
So, matter of
Yeah.
fact, if I
So let
go
me just
ahead.
step right in
Yep.
because I'll pretty much answer all your questions from the beginning. First of all, women are going to do whatever they want to do. It's their bodies, it's their choice, right? So it doesn't matter how many people have died from treatments or how many stories have come to pass. People look for inexpensive ways, quick ways, less downtime. And some women don't have the body fat. At the time that I did the silicone injections, which is the first thing I did back in, um, I want to say 2010 in Miami. And no, it wasn't a doctor. At the time, I really didn't even understand what injections were. I was in really good shape. I didn't have any body fat. Um, and a friend of mine that does fitness competitions, she had told me that she went to this guy that basically was doing everybody in Miami at the time and put in, oh God, I don't even remember what she called it back then, hydrogel, which is a form of what we would call now is hyaluronic lip filler. Um, and I went twice. I didn't have very much put in either time. After the second time, I remember hearing about somebody that had got injected and it kind of scared me. And so I didn't go back for more. But about 6 months after I had it done, I started getting really sick. Um, I started having a lot of stomach problems. I dropped a lot of weight. I started having like chronic diarrhea, gastrointestinal problems. I started having a lot of sensitivity in the area where I got injected, like it hurt to even touch my butt. Um, if I scraped it with a nail, it felt like something sliced me open. Um, and why did I do it? Well, I want to say I was 40, about 40 at the time. Um, and, of course, when you hit a certain age, gravity starts to pull everything down. So, not that I didn't have a butt, but, I started losing that volume up at the top. And, pretty much a lot of the girls were doing it at that time. And, we don't think about the consequences at that moment when we alter our body. Women hate themselves. That's why they change themselves constantly. Because no matter what we do, we could be perfect and we're still never going to see what anybody else sees. We're always going to find the biggest flaws. So, after I had done it, I started getting sick. I started seeing doctor after doctor, and they could not figure out what was wrong with me. And it really wasn't until my plastic surgeon that did my boobs back in 2002 said, they're really never going to find out what's wrong with you because it's your body fighting off the silicone you had injected. So at that time, I started looking for doctors to remove the silicone. And back in 2011, 12, there wasn't really many doctors that were familiar with silicone removal, or they just didn't want to touch you. They didn't want the liability. I remember at the time there was a doctor in Miami that did a scan on my butt to see like where the silicone had spread because even though they inject it in one localized spot, it's an oil, so it does spread. And it had spread into my back, like my spine area, into my hips, and I never had it injected in those areas.
Mm.
And I think at the time he had told me that he was still kind of new at removing the silicone. And back then I was like, I'm not just going to have some random doctor that's not really familiar with what he's doing start digging in me. And I was still extremely superficial at that time. So when they started telling me, oh, you're going to have, indentation in your butt, and we're going to have to remove tissue. And I was like, oh my God, there's got to be an alternative. So I started seeing a doctor in Vegas, because that's where I was living at the time, that had done a couple surgeries where he had removed some silicone, but he also told me, nobody's really that familiar with it. So for a year, I kind of went back and forth with him over the removal of the silicone. Um, he had told me immediately that I could never do a fat transfer again, that I would not be eligible because one, I didn't have any fat. Two, the silicone that was in my butt, it's just going to cause inflammation, and it's going to die. The fat would die. So he talked about a gluteal implant, and I remember at that time there was a couple girls from Miami that had been to Vegas with butt implants, and it did not look cute. It was not something that I personally felt was good for me at that time, but he talked me into it, and so I ended up going in for surgery in 2012. I want to say July of 2012, to have the silicone removed and an implant put in. And the cost was $45,000. So I didn't go to a cheap doctor. It wasn't, when that video went viral, people were like, "Oh, that's what you get when you pay for a cheap doctor." There was nothing cheap about any of the treatments I did. Um, I went in, and I think it was a Monday, and Friday morning I woke up and I felt like I had the flu. And I called my doctor and I told him I wasn't feeling good, and he just told me it was my body adapting to the implant. It was healing. By Monday, I had a fever. Um, I went in to see him. I had a bunch of fluid. I had seroma on the right side of my butt. They drained it. Um, I think that whole week I wasn't feeling good. I I was on and off antibiotics for that 6-month period. So at that time when I was going through my recovery, that's when I really started going viral with, the silicone injections and the risk, and, telling women not to make the same mistake I made. And then the end of 2012, before that video was posted, I had been at the doctor's so much. I think right before that happened, I got really sick, and I told the doctor um, that I felt very unwell, and I called my old plastic surgeon, and he told me the doctor really should have removed them right away. So in that 6-month period, before the removal, I got really sick. I developed cellulitis and C. diff, and I almost died. I was about $480,000 in medical bills.
Dang.
Hadn't worked in 6 months, savings depleted. Health insurance doesn't cover any of that. So just, that was the one thing, is I told a lot of girls, make sure you have double of what you spent for the recovery, or if you get sick, these doctors don't care about you. They're not removing anything for free. They're not going to try to help you. If you don't have the money to pay for it, they're just going to toss you to the side. So I had started seeing an infectious disease doctor, and he had hospitalized me. That's when they had told me I had C. diff and cellulitis, inflammation of the soft tissue. And so um, I had told the doctor I wanted the implants out. I said, one, I didn't like them. They looked, I mean, I don't know where the picture is that you have of me in the cheetah dress, but I remember that was like the first time I had went out after I had my implants in, and I was out for 30 minutes and left. I felt so uncomfortable in my own skin having my butt that big. And for women that like that, that's great. Kudos to them. But for me, it was not attractive in my body, in my skin. So the doctor was like, you just gotta let it heal, let it, your body's gonna adapt. And I think that video went viral about 2 weeks before I had them removed. I had went to go get my nails done, and I remember it was the first time that I had really been out of the house in about 6 months. And I was talking to my friend about it. I was telling her I wanted them out. I didn't like the way they looked. They were uncomfortable. I had a lot of pain. I wanted to heal. And I was showing her my implant, and it flipped. It just flipped. And because I could feel it. I could reach up underneath my butt cheek and feel it. She started laughing and she was like, "Oh my God, Renee." She was like, "Was that supposed to happen?" And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Oh my God, look." I didn't feel it. It just,
Oh
because there was
shit.
so much fluid in there, it just had turned. And I was like, "Turn it back. You flip it back." She was like, "I can't." And I was like, "I can't drive like that. I mean, my butt is going to split open." So I remember going home, and I had my boyfriend videotape me when I was doing that. And at that time, I was pretty mainstream. So a lot of people knew me, knew who I was just by my body and my tattoo. And I posted it on my Facebook, like, "This is not normal. This should not happen." And I sent it to my doctor. And that's when he was like, "Okay, I think there's a problem." And I said, "This is absolutely not normal. This should not happen." And I remember the day that I posted it, my phone was blowing up. And I was like, "What the hell?" Well, I never thought World Star and TMZ were going to pick up the video and post it. And it went viral. And I know within like 2 minutes, it had over 1 million views. And I was the first girl in the world that actually had went public with the silicone injections and the implant incident. So every news company, TMZ magazine reached out to me to try to get me on. And at that time, I didn't really care about that. All I cared about was my health, trying to recover. And so I didn't actually have the doctor that did the implants remove them. I had another doctor, Dr. Frank Stiles in Nevada. He's an amazing plastic surgeon. He actually took them out for free. He was like, "There's that should have never been in. They should have never. He should have never put these in you." Well, during the process of the removal, I found out that the doctor that did my implant never removed any of the silicone out of my body. So it was already inflamed and irritated. Then he put an implant in, which caused my body to just go crazy. And then I had him taken out in December of 2012. And I'm not kidding, almost immediately I felt better. It was like night and day. And I mean, I still had a long road to recovery. It really swayed me against wanting to do any plastic surgery to myself at all, just because it doesn't matter what doctor you go to, how reputable they are. You can have complications with any surgery you get. And talking about BBLs, that's the most dangerous plastic surgery in the world. It used to be a tummy tuck, but now it's BBLs, because not only are they sucking fat out, which causes blood clots, and they're putting fat back in, which causes more blood clots. So the risks are pretty high. And I mean, obviously, you've seen all the deaths from BBLs too. So it doesn't really matter what you do, but women are going to alter their bodies whether people tell them to or not. And there's always going to be somebody that's going to judge you. I tell women, do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy, but know the risk before you do it. Be prepared for what can happen, the outcome. And it's expensive. When BBLs first came out, they were like $6,500. Now they're like $25,000, depending on what doctor you go to, right? You can still go to Miami and get a BBL for, $5,000. They send you home in a day, and then the recovery is way longer. There's a lot to it. A lot of girls don't know that post-care is more important than the surgery itself, and a lot of girls can't afford to do the post-care. Massages, lymphatic drainage, the healing process, the downtime, staying off your butt. Um, so, I just think that if we didn't have social media the way we did today, all these young, beautiful women would not be out there altering their entire bodies to try to look like somebody else, right? I don't want to
Mhm.
look like anybody else. I've never wanted to look like anybody else but myself. And it takes a long time to heal from the things that you do later on in life, right? You alter your body and then something happens and then you're like, "Oh my God, why did I do that?" I look back now like, "Dang, man, why did I ever touch myself?" My body
Mhm.
was so banging, like, but we as women, we never see ourselves for what we are. People
Mm.
can tell you you're beautiful, but if you look in the mirror and you don't see it. And I had body dysmorphia. I had a 22-inch waist. I was 129 pounds, perfect body, you know, never had a problem getting anything that I wanted, but it was something inside, and it took years of therapy to heal that. So, it wasn't until 2007, so I went on botched. Obviously, they wanted to do a reconstructive surgery, and I was like, "No, I don't wanna go in surgery." Honestly, I really just needed to heal myself, heal my body, heal my mind, and then later on, so back in 2017, I went back into another plastic surgeon in California that did, another implant, a custom implant, much smaller, tapered to my butt. It did not fix the indentation that I had from the previous surgery. It fixed it a little bit, but not enough. And somebody asked me recently if I knew it wasn't gonna fix it, would I have gone back and done it again? And I said, "No, absolutely not," because 1, they're not comfortable. And the pain that I had from doing this, silicone injections, it's still there. Like,
Mm.
I can't tell you how uncomfortable I am all day long. There's permanent nerve damage that will never go away. And, a lot of these women, when they do these treatments, they're younger, even older. Geez, I know women, I'm been in the medical field for so long that I have a lot of women that come in post recovery in their 60s, late
Mm.
60s, 70s that are getting BBLs. And I'm like, what, what the hell are you doing at 70 years old getting a BBL? Like, I mean, hey, to each their own, but
Yeah.
I'm 57 this year. Like, I'm not trying to go get a BBL at 57 years old. I'm not trying to go, look like a 21-year old at 57 years old. If I altered my body, it's always been for me, never for somebody else. But would I go back and do it again? Absolutely not. Would I have
Mm.
ever touched myself? Mm-mm. No. The risk is not worth the reward, in my opinion. It's not. But for some women, it changes their life. I mean, they may have not been the cutest girl or had the nicest shape. And if it makes them feel like $1,000,000 and it changes their life, that's great. But the sad thing is 90% of the women that alter their bodies, once they do and they get that type of attention, they become ugly people.
Yeah.
And they forget how ugly they were before they got the surgery, and then they become ugly towards people. And, in all honesty, let's really be realistic here. Guys don't marry women that are built like me. And I can say that, I mean, I've been married almost my whole life, but if you look today, the women that are getting these BBLs, getting their bodies blown out, getting their faces done, they're trying to date NFL players and NBA players and guys that have money, and they're really just the majority of them are toss-ups. That these guys don't wanna marry women like that. They wanna marry the girl next door, the one that's gonna stay at home and stay out of the limelight. They don't want the girls that are out there being seen with everybody. I mean, it's true. Yes, they like the arm candy for a moment, but I mean, if you really look at a lot of athletes, artists, millionaires, look at their wives. They're not built like Kim Kardashian. You know
Mhm,
what I
mhm.
mean? They're just not. So,
Thank you. That was so I had a bunch of questions, but you answered mostly all of them,
yeah,
which was good because I didn't want to interrupt. But the
pretty much.
last part you said, with a lot of girls doing this, seeking the bag. Did you go through that phase with what you did with
Nah,
your
I never
body?
needed to. I never needed to.
Mhm,
I mean, I've always had the attention since way before I ever touched myself. Like that
mhm,
was, it's crazy because I think for me, um, the attention that I drew when I got my body altered, I didn't like it.
mm,
I didn't like it. I didn't like guys walking up to me. I can't stand to be touched. So guys walking up to me, grabbing my arm, trying to talk to me. For some reason, for some women, they need that. I didn't need that justification or I didn't need somebody to validate who I was. I knew who I was. And I've always been a confident woman. I mean, God, Goldie, you knew me before I ever did anything to myself,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know? So, you know me, the
mhm,
real me, the me without, the boobs, the me without the butt, before I got my teeth done. I mean, you knew who I was.
mhm,
So, I think some some women naturally exude sexiness and they just will always attract men. And I'm one of those women. And I've been told that from a very young age. So, personality, I've always been an extremely confident woman. I mean, you can't tell me nothing. You
mhm,
can call me ugly if you want. You can call me fat. You can call me old. You can call me whatever you want, but it's never going to change the woman I am. I'm
mhm,
always going to be that confident, strong woman now and 80 years from now, but some women, they don't have that confidence and they need that validation. It makes them feel good when a guy's like, dang, you're beautiful, or dang, you're banging. Looks fade. I mean, they fade, they go away, bodies change, but what do you have on the inside? And a
mhm.
lot of these women pretty on the
Uh-oh. Dang.
much everybody.
Oh, there we go.
There's not many people I talk to anymore because I don't want to. They're not good people.
Um, I don't know if you said it. Sorry if you did. What was your reason for getting butt implants? Your reason.
Butt injections or
Inj
butt
Okay, your first was
implants?
injection, and then you did the implant.
Injection.
So, out the gate, what was your reason for getting butt
Mhm.
injections? Your reason.
On that. So I think 40 I was around 40 when I did it, and I didn't have any body fat. And, as we get older, everything kinda just hangs like your boobies. Your booty does the same thing.
Okay. Okay.
And, I started losing that volume up at the top,
Okay. I
and
I I
all
remember
my
that now. Sorry about that. Um,
No, no, it's okay.
um, today, so like point blank, did Renee need any of this based on the people that knew her? I think
No.
99.99% of everybody who knew you're going to say, no, she did not need that.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I asked and I forgot.
Nobody needs
Yeah,
that
needs it?
unless
No.
it's a birth defect.
There you go. So today, in your opinion, why do you think so many girls are doing it outside of social media? Do you think they're doing it for girls
Well, I think it's a
competition or for
phenomenon.
guys? For guys. Do you think they're doing it for girls?
Both.
For both?
both. It's a
Mhm.
phenomenon now. I mean, it's a trend, right? I mean, look at TV, look at social media, look at these artists, look at Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and all these women that were ugly. I mean, and I hate to say this because women are beautiful in their own, every woman is beautiful, but some of these women were just not in any way, shape, or form a pretty woman.
Mhm.
And they go and they alter themselves and then they become somebody, right? And most, a lot of these women that do it for the limelight. They need that attention and validation. They want to be seen, they want to be on TV, they want to be on billboards. And, I have a friend that I used to be really good friends with, and I'm not going to say her name, but she's very well known now. And before that, she wasn't. And she always wanted to be that girl,
Mm.
that girl that people knew. She walked down the street, people would know who she was. She craved that type of attention. And I mean, she blew her body out and she
Mhm.
got that attention. And that was, and she's not a happy girl. She's never been a happy girl. She never will be a happy girl because you can be happy on the outside, but if you're not happy on the inside, doesn't matter what you do to your body, you're never going to be happy. It's the truth.
Mhm. I
And
re
women are never happy anyways.
I agree with you on that. Um, I don't know if I'm getting this mixed up, but I remember years ago, um, an entertainer, she got her breasts done and she got them so big to where her cleavage skin popped up and it was like a uniboob.
Mhm.
I don't remember. Did that happen to your butt?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. No, my butt wasn't that big. Jesus Christ. No.
So how many
No.
CCs were in your butt?
Um,
Did you go beyond what they
I
recommended?
No, I didn't. He recommended that. Actually, I didn't want that implant that big
Mm.
because it was, when he recommended that, I was like, that's kind of big. I mean, I had a nice sized butt. I didn't need my butt to be bigger. The only reason he recommended the implant was because they had to cut tissue out. So there was going to be indentation and that would fill up that area.
So when you say
But it
tissue,
actually,
they cut booty meat out so it'll fit back in you.
no,
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 they
no,
so
no,
it
no.
can fit recessed inside of your no?
Mm-mm. No. So when you remove silicone, because it's injected into the tissue, right? And it intertwines
Oh, okay.
in the tissue, the skin, the fascia. So in order to remove the silicone, they kind of have to dig it, cut it, and pit it out.
I forget you
So
had
once
silicone
they do
already in
that,
there before the implants. Got you.
yes, yes. So I went into the surgery to have the silicone removed from the tissue.
Mm.
And they had recommended the implant. The doctor had recommended the implant. So, in order to remove silicone from your tissue, they basically have to cut it all out because it's a mess. It's terrible. And so then he put the implant on top. Well, the problem was I was already inflamed, irritated, had complications, and then he put an implant on top of that, and that implant was heavy. I remember about 4 weeks after having it put in, I have incisions in the crack of my butt. And when I had it put in about 4 or 5 weeks after, one day I woke up and my daughter she was changing my dressing, and she was like, "Oh my god, mom, your butt looks so weird."
Mm.
And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "It looks like it dropped, it moved, it did something." And I remember the shape of my butt was like very abnormal. and it was like a breast implant. Like when you get your boobs first done, like your implants up here and your tissues down here, and then one day, boom, it just dropped. That's kind of how my butt did, but it like literally pulled my butt down. And then I
S-
had like a double bubble, like breast skid. And then when I started having seromas in my butt where they had to keep taking fluid out, like 150 cc's. The next day it would be 100 cc's. Um, they actually my incision actually started spreading apart
mm,
because there was so much fluid in my butt. My butt's the skin started stretching. So, I don't know if I gave you a picture. I think I gave you a picture that's like my butt and my back crop where you can't see my booty hole, but you can see my incision
mm,
where some butt cheeks sit like this,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
And the top of my butt cheeks, it should sit like this, but there's like a gap like that
mm,
because they had to cut that tissue out.
mm,
So, um,
how,
unfortunately, the pros and cons of plastic surgery, right?
mm-hmm.
Sometimes it can go great and everything looks great and you have no complications, and then other times you do, and some people die. And, and by the grace of God, I'm here today because I didn't think I was going to survive that. I mean, as sick as I was and as much as I went through, um, would I ever do it again? Absolutely not.
So does
If I
that
could
mean
tell my
you
younger
regret it? Do you regret it?
Oh, absolutely. That's the only regret I have in life.
Got you.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Um,
how exactly did your boyfriend at that time respond to, I guess, just the feel of your butt? Is that what he wanted? Was that something that turned him
no,
on or
he never
off?
wanted me to do anything to myself. He was
Yeah.
so against that. Um, he's married to somebody else now, and I remember we had a conversation, you know, after he got married, and he told me she had asked to get some work done, and he told her absolutely not.
Mm.
Um, so no, he didn't like it. But I mean, if you've ever felt a girl's butt with, I don't, you know, I don't know, I can't really answer that. But when I did have the implants in, you could definitely feel like they were very hard.
So
Um,
two
and you
questions.
could feel them move.
Okay, so by you saying that they felt hard, how was it? Do you have to modify how you sleep now? I picture your fucking pelvis being shoved up in this air, if you wanted to sleep on your back. So how was sleeping? How was sitting down? Did it feel like you was sitting on like some type of cushion all the time or did it
Yes, it felt like I was sitting on a wallet all the time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really weird. It wasn't something you could get used to. Like, okay, laying down, you would have to be careful. Like, I feel like you're always extra careful, like when you sit down, when you, if you fall. Um, I don't know. I mean,
So throughout the time of you
it
dealing
was very odd. It was very,
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm sorry, to cut you off. Throughout the time of you dealing with more just issues throughout the whole time, so that totally affected your sex life. I'm assuming.
No,
Oh no. Oh.
absolutely not.
Oh.
No.
Oh. Oh.
Uh-uh.
Um. Did
Uh-uh.
you
I
ever?
mean, I can't. I mean, no. I mean,
Okay.
it doesn't affect your
Did you
vagina.
did you did you ever have a horrible, embarrassing situation outside of home? Something happened regarding your butt ever? No.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Did you get to a
no. I
point, like you
mean,
said, where if a guy was looking at you, he was looking at your butt and then immediately that turned you off?
when I had the
Yeah.
implants, yeah,
Mm,
it was just I don't like to be stared at like that, one, and it wasn't just a man, it was old people would walk down the street and point like, "Oh my god." I started tying shirts around my waist, I remember, like, thinking, "Oh my god, everybody's staring at my butt," and it wasn't the attention that I wanted.
mhm,
And, it was very uncomfortable, so when I had the implants removed, it was almost like a relief, you know what I mean?
mhm.
And I mean, for some women, they like that attention, that's why they get their butts blown out and they want people to stare at them. But for me, if a guy's staring at me, I want him to be staring at me for this, not this,
Got you.
you know what I mean? And I mean, the way I'm built and stacked anyways, guys are gonna look at my body, right? It's just
Mhm.
normal. But some women actually don't like to be sexualized, and I'm one of those women. Like, I don't I don't like, I stay with no makeup on now. I look like a bum 24/7 because I'm working on my house or at work, and I just prefer not to have that attention. Like, where I'm at now, I don't really know people here. I
So
mean, I know people up in Atlanta, but down where I live, I don't know a lot of people, and I had still have people are like, "I know you," and I'm like, "Nope, you don't know me." And they're like, "No, I know you." I'm like, "No, mm-mm, you don't know me."
the
And I
psycholo
like that.
yeah, the psychological side effect of a girl getting butt injections, do you think it's more common that that woman tends to not like the attention that her butt is getting her?
No,
No, okay,
no, because I think a lot of people that do it for that type of attention, right?
okay.
Or maybe just to feel good about themselves in general, and then the attention that comes with it is a bonus for them. I think a lot of women that have done butt injections, illegal butt injections, have very much regretted it because
Mm,
I know hundreds of them. You know, I've talked many girls out of it,
mm,
and girls are now getting um, lip filler injected in their butt. And I mean, it's a lot of lip filler or a lot of filler, legal FDA approved filler
god
off label
dang.
to do your butt that women are doing.
Mm,
And, you know, people are going to do what they want to
yeah.
do.
I got that video. Um let me see if it'll oh no, it won't pull up. Oh, I should have converted it. I didn't convert it.
What are you trying to pull up my butt implant flipping?
Um, yeah. Um, if you have it, you can email it to me and then I'll see if that video because the type of file it was, I should have I thought that when I put it together, I did it in the right file, but I didn't. Um,
So I can't, I mean, is this the one you're looking for?
yeah.
Okay.
You got the video? Will it play?
Mm,
You
I
know what?
don't
If it
know.
won't play, just because you did that, it'll probably, I don't know if it'll do it on mine.
Oh, here. I think this one might. Hold on one second.
Let's see. Bam. I still got the email. The email from 2012. Uh,
Yeah, that's crazy.
uh-huh. Let's see.
Um, oh, here we go. Okay, there we go. Is it on record? Yes. This is no, I'm not. You guys can go. Just give me a few minutes. I don't think an implant's supposed to do that. It shouldn't be able to flip. Okay, you can turn it off now.
Wow. Do it. Show that again. Show it again.
Hold on. Let me see if I can go big. Is it on record? Good. Okay. This is my implant flipping backwards. I don't think an implant's supposed to do that. It shouldn't be able to flip. Okay, you can turn it off now.
So, how long did you live with that until that was cut out of your body?
6 months.
6 months. So, the close to 500 million, close to $500,000, that was just spent on keeping you alive because the silicone, the implant was taken out for free.
Yes, correct.
Wow. And the doctor who originally put it in didn't want to have nothing to do with it.
So he actually agreed after that video to remove it for $7,000.
Mm,
He wanted to charge me to remove it.
wow.
And I said, absolutely not. You should remove this because I asked to have it removed 6 weeks after, 4 weeks after I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept saying, you're fine. And then, I remember I had been taken to the hospital via ambulance one night. I was having a hard time breathing. I couldn't
Mm,
breathe. And my hospital bill from that day was like $75,000. And then when I got admitted, um, and the only reason I got admitted was because I went to see the infectious disease doctor. And when I got to the room, I was drenched in sweat and I couldn't catch my breath. And
mm,
he was like, go to the hospital right now.
mm,
And then they had found out I had cellulitis and C. diff. And if I hadn't went in that day, I probably wouldn't have made it. I
mm,
probably would have died. And so, um, shoot, that that hospital stay was like, I don't even remember what it was. That it was I was there for 5 days.
wow. So, are you
And
free and
then
clear
after
from all medical bills, or you still
mhm,
okay? Right
mhm.
on.
No, I paid everything. Um, it's so crazy because I had health insurance when that happened. I had Blue Cross. I had good health insurance. And the moment the doctor notified my insurance, this was before they couldn't deny you for having silicone in your body or silicone implants. As soon as the hospital notified the insurance, I was hospitalized for silicone gel implants, gluteal. They cut off my insurance. I fought with them for 6 months, and they had agreed almost right before I had the implants out to reinstate my insurance if I can prove that they were not silicone implants and if I was willing to pay all the back pay and the premium that they increased,
Mm,
which the premium went up $500, so it went up to $900, and then I had to pay like uh, I think like $6,000 of back pay just for them to cover the last $75,000 of my medical bills. I paid it and
yeah.
they covered the last 75.
So
They
to
wouldn't retro anything before.
so today, right now, your butt is what? Free of everything, or is there still something in there?
Silicone will always be in there unless I
Got you.
completely get it cut off. And I have an implant in. I put an implant back in 2017.
Because if not, it's like a balloon, just some skin hanging. So you just got to put something in there.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
sent you a picture of like how it looked like after they took out the implant. It's all over the internet. I mean, if you Google, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more so my right side than my left. Like that was the side that I had a lot of problems on, still do. And it just kind of concaved it because all the tissue's gone.
So you're okay. So obviously, yeah, that just means you're commit. You have no other choice now. You have to have something in there, and the safest thing to
I
have
don't
in
have
there.
to.
Oh, you don't have to.
Mm-mm,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
I don't have to. I mean, I could do a surgery to remove some excess skin. And, it's something I've been contemplating over the last year, obviously. I'm getting older. I would like to see if I can get the majority of the silicone removed, the implant out, and kind of just have my body heal, um, or try to heal. At 57, I'm not thinking about what the outside world cares about me. You know what I mean? I never cared. I wouldn't have went live with my video. Um, the backlash that I got from that video was ridiculous.
Mm,
Um, so but when you hit a certain age, you really focus on your health and longevity more so of being out and about and looking cute, right?
yeah.
Like, I don't want to be ugly. I don't want to get fat, you know, but I'm a lot heavier than I was then. I mean, I stayed, 129 to 135 pounds, 22-inch waist. I'm 5'5". Now I'm 165, a lot heavier than I was before, and I don't have that 22-inch waist anymore. Would I love to have it back? Yes, but
Mm-hmm.
that affected my whole life. My health changed after that. I've had like ongoing autoimmune issues. So, and here's the real truth that people don't tell you. A million girls have done the same thing, and half of them live in Vegas.
Mm.
And I can tell you out of the hundreds of girls that I knew that went to the same guy, I know at least 20 of them that have developed cancer.
Damn. Oh, cancer. Ooh.
Mhm. So,
Damn.
I mean, you got to remember anytime you put a foreign object in your body, it's always going to try to push it out.
Mm-hmm.
Your
Mm-hmm.
body is always fighting off that foreign object. I don't care, boob implants, butt implants, face implants, it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, it's your body trying to say, "Hey, this is not normal." It's even when you put a pin in your leg after having a broken leg,
Yep. Yep.
it's your body tries to reject it. So, I think it will always be like that.
So fat transfer, that's the BBL. Like you said, it's one of the
Mhm.
most, it's the most dangerous, procedure somebody can get today.
Legal
Okay.
FDA, or surgically approved, cosmetic surgeries.
Okay.
So
Most
let me
dangerous.
rephrase that.
Okay.
Cosmetic surgery.
Okay.
BBL is the number one most dangerous cosmetic surgery in the world.
Okay. Now, with that being said, the backyard boogie injections, I don't know if I read Dermafil or whatever they're using, silicone, and
Hydrogel, silicone,
so no
who
matter
knows what they're using nowadays.
no matter what injection they're using, and
Not
it's for
true. Not true. Hold on.
oh,
So you can get dermal fillers like Allergan dermal fillers or Sculptra injected that can be dissolved.
okay,
When you're doing off-label, black market, non-dissolvable fillers, that's where you run into the complications. Okay. And fillers really aren't meant to be injected into the muscle,
got you.
right? Or deep into the body because you have all kinds of veins. And that's another thing. All these women that died getting injections because these aren't doctors. You have major veins and arteries that run through your body. And I mean, even with legal doctors that do it, you have to be careful. You got veins, you got arteries, you got major arteries that run through here, run through your body. So, it's a risky surgery, and having a random somebody that thinks, "Oh, I'm just going to inject into the superficial area." How many people I remember thinking now, like, I work in the medical field. How stupid was I? Like, how
Mm,
dumb.
mm,
I'm laying there in a non-sterile environment while this guy is pulling up, and I can remember it like it was yesterday, this substance out of a paper cup
Damn.
putting it in a syringe and injecting it into my butt, and then putting super glue on my butt afterwards. And 5 hours later, I'm in the club
Damn.
with silicone leaking out of my butt.
Damn.
Like, just how dumb. Like,
Blessings you still here with us today.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, by the grace of God, yes. But
Now
and there's not a lot of girls that are.
for most of these girls, most of them that we see walking around with these big fat ass booties, knowing that it's some type of augmentation work. To your assumption prediction, is this backyard boogie stuff?
Hmm, if you would have asked me that 7 years ago, yes. But and you can kinda tell, well, I can. I can tell who has silicone and who has a BBL.
Mm. Okay, tell us what's the difference that
Most of the girls that get silicone, they have some kind of discoloration or more deformities in their butt
mm,
because it's a bunch of random injections.
gotcha,
BBL is more very specific how it's laid and shaped into the butt, right?
gotcha.
Um, and a lot of girls that have had silicone injections, you could just see a lot of very unevenness, rough, bumpy looking spots
So does that
or
mean that
discoloration.
does that mean that there's major trouble to come for that woman?
I mean, here's the thing is at any time you could not have complications and then one day you could just wake up and develop necrosis. Your body could start rejecting it, it could start pushing it out. But usually, if you start seeing dark spots or very abnormalities, it means your body is probably trying to reject that.
Mm, mm,
And so, yeah, it's not good. It's not healthy. I mean, it's just not healthy in general, and here's the thing is a lot of these girls that are getting silicone injections still to this day, it travels through the body continuously because it's like a fluid, right? Sometimes your body encapsulates it. So I remember when they went in to remove my implant, and Dr. Stiles was like, oh my God, there was like all this gooey substance
mm,
inside my capsule, which is like very unheard of because the capsule is like almost like your skin forms a hard
yeah.
capsule, and it was like inside the capsule.
Mm,
And so it can move through the body. Like I said, when I had the scan, they told me it was in my spine. Like, and that's a lot of girls don't think about this when something happens. Like if you go to the emergency room, they have to do a spinal tap and you have silicone there and that needle passes through that silicone to your spine.
mm.
Guess what?
Infection?
It can paralyze you.
Mm,
So it's, I mean, and anytime I go to a doctor and they go to inject me, I always say, no injections at my butt. I have silicone. Or like when I had my gallbladder removed, I had to let them know, hey, I have silicone in my body. It's traveled through areas of my body. I don't know where it's at. So, be careful if you have to give me an epidural or whatever.
mhm.
So, there's a lot of complications. It's not just, okay, yeah, I survived, yeah, I got a fat ass, I mean, I made it through.
Yeah.
What about 10 years from now? What's going to happen 10 years from now? Because
Mhm.
your body is eventually going to reject it.
Yeah, that's a crossroad for you. You're either gonna redo your implant again or step away from it and get the skin tightened up.
Me, I would never do another implant.
Got you.
Mm-mm. The doctor's already asked me. I mean, I've botched has called me. They've asked to, redo my surgery. And I'm just like, no,
Yeah.
I don't. I just want it out of my body. I'd like to have the silicone out of my body, and I would like to just be normal. Just
Mhm.
I really would love to be able to just sit down and not have that pain.
Got you.
I mean,
Mhm.
the pain, I hear girls tell me this all the time, even girls that have BBLs, how sensitive their butt is after a BBL. So, let's be professional here, but if you're smacking cheeks from the back,
Mhm.
it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good when a guy smacks your butt or, they're grabbing your cheeks. And I mean, every girl that I know that has a BBL tells me the same thing. Like, oh my God, my butt is so sensitive. Oh my God, when a guy grabs my butt, I cringe, because there's so many nerve endings and it makes it so sensitive that you almost don't want anybody to touch it anymore.
Gotcha.
So even sexual activities, when you're doggy style and that smacking, at some point you're like, Jesus Christ, let it be over.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now that you bring
it
that up,
just it
in closing, because I don't want to keep you too long. In closing, there's something that started to go viral through social media and through the internet. And what went viral was this smutting of BBLs, girls with booty work, about a smell. Did you catch that when it was going viral? Girls having some type of smell, and then it even landed on Cardi B.
oh, I saw. Okay. So I think they were talking about a woman after, like right after having a BBL. Obviously, you have blood and you may have pus coming out of an open wound. But in general, okay, so I can say for me, my ass don't stink.
Hmm.
So, um, if if you are fresh out of surgery, yes, and coming from Miami, a lot of these girls do Miami, Colombia, Costa Rica, they leave the wound open. And yes, the smell from the blood and the drainage is disgusting.
Mm, okay.
But once the wound's healed, you're not gonna smell that. I mean, I do a lot of post-surgical recovery. I have a lot of women that come in with BBLs. They don't pull down their pants and I'm like, "Oh my god, I can smell something now."
Gotcha.
People just say stupid,
Hmm.
ignorant
Hmm.
stuff,
Hmm.
and, of course, everybody jumps on the bandwagon, but I mean, doesn't matter what you put in your booty, you have skin that covers that. Unless there's some type of infection, you should never have an odor, just like a woman's vagina, unless there is bacteria vaginosis or a yeast infection, or she just naturally has very strong pheromones. Some women are naturally musty, men too. So, unless you have those that take part, you should not have a smell.
Gotcha. Right on. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you was open to speaking on this and really just
Absolutely.
educating people. And I feel it that you probably not probably I feel it that you saved somebody's life and saved somebody
Oh, for
from
sure.
making the wrong decision. And again, I want to say thank you so much, and I wish you continued healing with your situation for the rest of your life. And when it comes time to make that decision to step away from those implants, I know it's going to be something that you've really been looking forward to. And I'm glad throughout everything you've been through, you done did it with your chin up and chest out. Cause I remember years ago,
Yeah.
I was like, how the fuck is she dealing with all this shit? I know this social media shit is evil, but
You know what? But I didn't pay attention to it
that's
because
right.
it doesn't matter what you do. People are ignorant and they're going to say stupid things. Like some of the crap that people would say, like, oh, that's what you get for being a white girl trying to be like a black girl. Do you know how many black women get BBLs? That is just so pure ignorant. Or that's what you get for going to a cheap doctor. There was nothing cheap about my doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing cheap about my doctor. Paying $45,000 is not cheap. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of people say, "Oh, girls get booty injections because it's cheaper." That's not why they do it. It's because there's no downtime when you go get illegal booty injections. You walk in, your butt's pumped up, you go out and you do your thing the same day. There's no downtime. You don't have
Wow.
to worry about it deflating. You don't have to worry about taking 6 weeks off. You don't have to worry about all that. So, it's unfortunately, the internet today has destroyed all the new generations
Yeah.
after the '80s. It just really has, or '90s. And people see things on the internet and they automatically just thrive off the negativity. But I mean, me going viral was to save a life. It
Right on.
wasn't about anything else. It was if I could save one life, that's all it mattered to me. I don't care how much people judge me. I mean, how much people this is how many years ago was that? 2012? We're in
Yeah.
2025,
13 years.
13
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
and that video is
Yep.
still viral. Every day somebody's reposting it.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious because just some of the ignorant shit people say, and
Hmm.
I'm like, "God, you're just so dumb."
Yeah.
Like, why don't you ask the person, what happened instead of making assumptions? And then, the crazy thing is girls are like, "Oh, you know, um, she just did it for attention." And I'm like, "Oh, no, honey, I
Yeah.
didn't need the attention." So, it wasn't for that, trust me. But, you just can't pay attention to stuff people say on the internet. People are gonna just say whatever the hell they want, and I just bypassed it.
That's right.
I was like, "I'm not even gonna read this ignorant shit," because it was almost comical reading the things that people say and the level of ignorance, and I still get comments on that video all the time,
Mm.
and I'm just like, "God, it just so dumb."
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you. I wish you the best out there and with your
all right, Golden.
relocation and um, everybody who was tuned in. I could tell that they was very thankful for everything that was shared today. So
Well,
thank you very much,
congratulations
Renee.
on your first live.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, Goldie. I'll
All
see you
right.
later. You have a good night.
Thank you.
All
Much love
right,
and
bye.
respect. Okay, bye bye.
You're welcome.